In a galaxy vast and diverse, where countless species vie for dominance, there exists a place where only the strongest survive, the Crucible. Known as the toughest arena in the universe, it is a shifting battleground of deadly traps, relentless predators, and ever-changing terrain designed to crush even the most formidable challengers. It is not just a test of strength, but a crucible of wit, endurance, and sheer willpower. This is where Jax, humanity's sole representative, now stood. The crowd, an amalgamation of alien species from across the cosmos, roared with laughter and mockery. Humanity, a young, unremarkable species from a remote death world, had sent a single participant into the arena. Most spectators doubted Jax would last even a single round. Deathworlders. That was the term these advanced species used for beings like Jax. Life born on death worlds, planets riddled with hostile conditions, extreme climates, and relentless predators, was considered primitive. While Deathworlders had evolved under constant pressure to adapt, many in the galaxy viewed them as crude, less evolved creatures, their survival instinct mistaken for a lack of sophistication. Jax stood motionless, his posture relaxed yet deliberate. He wasn't the largest or most intimidating figure here. Compared to the towering monstrosities beside him, hulking behemoths genetically engineered for war or insectoid predators with razor-like appendages, he seemed almost fragile. His lean build and comparatively small stature made him look insignificant. But those who underestimated him failed to notice the calculating gaze in his eyes. The Crucible's announcer, a multi-limbed creature with a booming voice, recited the rules. There weren't many: survive, advance, or die. Contestants were forbidden from assisting each other. Alliances were futile. The arena's hazards would shift unpredictably, and only the smartest, quickest, and most resourceful would survive. Jax scanned his surroundings as the floor beneath the contestants began to shift, separating them into individual starting zones. He wasn't focused on the crowd's jeers or the competitors' snarls. He wasn't even fazed by the colossal arena before him. His attention was locked on the details, the layout, the placement of traps, the subtle hum of machinery beneath the surface. His mind worked quickly, cataloging every potential advantage and risk. The Crucible itself was a masterpiece of cruelty. Walls shifted like tectonic plates, creating sudden dead ends or narrow passages. Acid pits bubbled ominously, while turrets mounted on high platforms swiveled, scanning for targets. Above, flying drones hovered, their purpose unclear but undoubtedly malicious. The air was thick with tension, the kind that crushed weaker minds before the first challenge even began. Jax inhaled deeply, the cool air stinging his lungs. He could feel the weight of Earth's expectations on his shoulders. This wasn't just a personal test, it was humanity's first step into galactic recognition. He tightened the strap on his gear, a patchwork of human ingenuity, far from the polished exocets and advanced weaponry carried by the others. It wasn't much, but it was enough. The gong sounded, signaling the start. The crowd roared as the first obstacles activated, and chaos erupted around him. Jax smiled faintly. This was where he thrived. The air grew heavier as the remaining contestants pressed deeper into the Crucible. The maze shifted yet again, the walls rearranging with a grinding roar. What had been an open corridor now became a claustrophobic passage, and Jax knew the arena was escalating its challenge. The survivors were funneled into a vast open chamber, and for the first time, the competitors caught sight of their next opponent. At the far end of the chamber, a massive gate rumbled open, releasing a creature that could only be described as the pinnacle of engineered predation. The apex predator emerged, its presence alone silencing the crowd. It was a towering beast, a fusion of muscle, scales, and machinery. Its four glowing eyes scanned the room, and a low, guttural growl reverberated through the chamber. Claws sharper than steel scraped the ground, and its tail, tipped with a spiked blade, swayed with calculated menace. Jax's heart pounded, but he didn't let the fear show. He knew fear was natural. It was survival's first alert system. But panic? Panic was the killer. The creature locked onto the nearest competitor, a heavily armored alien with metallic limbs, and lunged. The predator's speed was a shocking contrast to its size. In a blur, it closed the distance, slicing through the alien's armor as if it were paper. The other contestants scattered, their tactics ranging from full retreat to reckless assault. One competitor, a serpentine creature with plasma projectors, unleashed a volley of energy blasts. The apex predator sidestepped with a fluid motion, its tail striking out and cleaving the serpent in two before the attack could even connect. It wasn't just strong, it was smart, a hunter that adapted to its prey's strategies. Jax didn't move yet. He used the brief chaos to observe. The beast's eyes glowed faintly before each attack, a sign that its augmented vision locked onto targets in a specific sequence. Its armor was impenetrable on its torso and limbs, but there were gaps where the mechanical enhancements met flesh. He noticed the subtle hiss of hydraulic joints and the flicker of exposed wires near its neck. The creature turned its attention toward Jax, having eliminated most of the others. Its glowing eyes locked onto him, and it crouched, preparing to charge. Jax didn't wait. He bolted toward a nearby cluster of debris, forcing the predator to adjust its trajectory. As it lunged, Jax dove to the side, narrowly avoiding the swipe of its claws. The predator's tail followed, striking with deadly precision, but Jax rolled behind a shattered turret, using it as temporary cover. The crowd roared as Jax's movements became a dance of survival. He wasn't faster or stronger than the beast, but he was unpredictable. Each time it lunged, he used its own momentum against it, forcing it to collide with obstacles. The arena itself became his weapon. Finally, Jax spotted his opportunity. A damaged pillar hung precariously above the predator. Timing his movements carefully, he baited the beast into charging again. At the last moment, he dove forward, sliding beneath the predator's frame and slamming a loose piece of debris into its exposed neck wires. Sparks erupted, and the predator reared back in pain. The vibrations from its thrashing caused the weakened pillar to collapse, crashing down onto the beast and pinning it. The crowd erupted in stunned silence, then deafening cheers. The apex predator, undefeated in countless rounds, had fallen. And standing amidst the rubble was Jax, bloodied but unbroken, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of humanity.